Hi guys, it's Mrs. England again, and I'm checking in with you. Hopefully you're doing well. It is Friday today, but I'm going ahead and doing the video for March 30th when we get back. Sorry, I'm sweaty again, getting in my workout, and twins are sleeping, so hopefully I can get through this before the twins wake up. I wanted to just show you what goes into the final model. So today on the classroom, what you should be working on is this document here. And what you can see you're doing is you're piecing together how natural selection has happened in human skin color. So you'll be answering the question, why does dark skin have a reproductive advantage closer to the equator? And why does light skin have a reproductive advantage further away from the equator? So first, let's go over what we've learned so far. I'm going to go back to 319's assignment. Basically, the main things you probably got from it is, first of all, there's a lot of UV at the equator, and you're trying to piece together, like, why might that have an effect on human skin color? And I looked at a lot of people's figure 4, and with this one, we realized that folate is really important in humans, that specifically it can lead to folate deficiencies during pregnancy can lead to anemia in the mother and malformation of the nervous system, gastrointestinal system, aorta and kidney, and skeletal system in the fetus. There's also a high rate of miscarriages. So this is saying there's a reproductive advantage if you have high levels of folate when you're pregnant. So I looked at a lot of people's, and they had no for this one, and it should be yes. This is the only one that you're getting yes for at this point. Okay, so now let's move on to Friday's assignment. Okay, so if we look at Artifact 5, what you're seeing here, this is an interesting study. You can see they had 64 normal patients, and they are calling this the control group, and they have 10 patients. And what they did with those 10 patients is they exposed them to intense UV for 30 to 60 minutes once or twice a week. And you actually can see from this that those patients that had 30 to 60 minutes of UV had less folate levels. So this is linking folate to UV. So you're thinking, where is their high UV? At the equator. So where's their folate levels low? At the equator. So you're probably thinking that this has an effect on people at the equator. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This one's an interesting graphic. I think it's the hardest one to interpret. There's a lot going on here. So if this took you a while, this was normal. A lot of times in groups, we spend about 5 minutes at least just figuring out what this diagram says. Okay, so if we let's just look at dark skin pigmentation. This is saying that it doesn't matter where you live, if you have dark skin, so if you have a lot of melanin in your skin, you don't make sufficient vitamin D anywhere on the globe, which is very interesting. So you're thinking that maybe they must get more from their diet. Then if we look at moderate skin tones, they can make enough vitamin D. They can synthesize it, so their body can do it on their own without any help from their diet in the place with the dots. So in these areas further away from the equator. And then if we look at light skin, they can synthesize enough vitamin D on their own, where these narrow lines are and where the dots are. So that's giving you some sort of indication that maybe light skin has an advantage too. Because so far, all we've seen is that dark skin has an advantage at the equator. And if dark skin has an advantage at the equator, why isn't there only dark skin? Well, there must be some sort of advantage to light skin as well. Okay, so this is starting to give an indication that maybe light skin has a reproductive advantage too, but you're like, I don't really know what vitamin D does. So then you go on to the next diagram. Okay, and this one is interesting. It shows you that those with the lighter skin make vitamin D easiest, and those with darker skin make less vitamin D. So with both of these two, I would think you would get yes. This is giving me some sort of indication of reproductive advantage, yes. And then finally, if we go to figure 8, you're seeing that people that have low vitamin D can actually develop skeletal abnormalities, a condition called rickets. That if you don't get enough vitamin D, this can result, and you're probably thinking this could have a reproductive disadvantage. So you have an advantage if you do make enough vitamin D. And it also gives you this. It tells you that food sources that have high vitamin D are cheese, margarine, butter, fortified milk, fatty fish, and healthy cereals. Okay, so just give you some information of where you can get that from your diet. So why don't we see a lot of people with this today? Well, people must eat some of these foods to supplement their body if they can't make enough. Okay, so that was where you ended on 320. Now what you're ready to do is you're ready to piece together your model. Okay, and here's your instructions. It tells you that you're going to use the drawings to create a model showing cells of different pigmentation, and the equatorial regions and the northern hemisphere use a key to draw symbols. If you don't like the symbols that I've done, feel free to make your own using insert shapes. You can use any of these shapes that you want to use. Just give me a key on each slide. And then you're going to write a caption that summarizes what is happening with folate and vitamin D in each skin type in each location. So in your caption, you're going to say cells with high pigmentation near the equator and cells with low pigmentation. And then the other slide, cells with high pigmentation in the northern hemisphere and cells with low pigmentation in the northern hemisphere. So here's where you're going to the equatorial regions. Tell me what happens with cells with high pigmentation, so dark complected, and then light complected. And then caption it. Say who has a disadvantage and who has the advantage and why. Okay, you're going to do the same thing for the northern hemisphere. And then finally down here, what questions do you still have about natural selection? If you're still struggling with this, I am giving you a huge help. This is the same video that was posted at the end of 320's assignment. This video right here, I think this woman does an amazing job walking us through it. So your job is to piece it all together. And hopefully by this point, you've figured out why that natural selection has happened in humans. Students always want to know, well, what about us? Well, look at your skin color. And hopefully by the end of this, you can answer the question, how did I get my own skin color? All right. Take care. I don't know yet if we're going to be seeing each other on 331. I've heard nothing, and we'll communicate with you as soon as we know anything. But be safe, social distance, do your part. Actually, I think physical distance is more like it. Hopefully, you're still being social. You're using your resources to keep in contact with your friends. It has helped me. I've been FaceTiming Miss Banzoff, who's one of my good friends, and that's been really helpful to see her face and to laugh. So don't forget to do those things. But I'll talk to you soon. I hope you're doing well. And please don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions. I've been checking my email quite often, and I have a few point people that I've asked to check in with me. I have heard that students are having an easier time watching the videos on YouTube. So I am uploading them all up to YouTube in addition to doing an MP4. So if the MP4 doesn't work for you, please check the YouTube link. The MP4s are loading really slow for people, but the YouTube seems to be working well. All right, take care. I'll talk to you guys soon, either in person or you'll see my sweaty face. All right, bye guys.